Our thoughts can either uplift and inspire us, or they can send us down a very dark spiral. Today I'm going to share my 3 most empowering anchor thoughts with you that I use on a regular basis to keep me motivated and on track. Hey tribe, and welcome to episode 8 of the MLG podcast. I'm your host Mandy, and I'm really excited to hang out with you again. Today I'm going to share with you my 3 empowering anchor thoughts, and although they are simple, they're not necessarily always easy, and they require a bit of mindfulness and practice to implement. But don't worry, with consistency and repetition comes mastery, and the sooner you start, the sooner they will become your guiding light too. So first, I just want to explain the principle of what I call anchor thoughts. Anchor thoughts are thoughts that I use every day, and I have plenty of them. But today I'm just going to share 3 with you which I find most impactful and that have had the greatest effect on my life. So an anchor is something that holds us close to where we want to be, or it's also something that prevents us from drifting too far off and getting lost. And the Oxford Dictionary also gives the definition that it is a person or a thing that gives somebody a feeling of safety. Now, that is exactly what an anchor thought is. It is a mental tool that keeps you from drifting too far off and that gives you the feeling of safety. And best of all is you can do it all by yourself and you don't need any external help or influence to implement them. The first thought is, it's up to me, or I am responsible. Now, this is something I've said before, and trust me, it's something you'll hear again in future episodes, because to me this is the core and the foundation of self-empowerment. And the greatest and kindest thing you will ever do for yourself is to accept full responsibility for your own life. Now, I understand that this statement may be triggering for you, especially if something bad has happened to you or something unfair that you did nothing to provoke or to deserve. I did a previous episode on this. You can find it here that you can go and check out if you want more details on that. The responsibility I'm talking about is not about who is to blame, but rather how am I going to respond. So where am I going to place my focus when dealing with the situation? When we throw a rock into a river, the river doesn't stop to stare at the rock and contemplate why someone would do that. Without losing a second, the water makes its way around the rock as best it can and keeps on flowing. So the same principle applies to taking responsibility for your life. If something happens to you, whether someone else created it or life created it or you created it, are you going to stop to focus on that unfairness or on the situation that is not good for you at the moment? Or are you going to take your focus beyond it to see how you can get past it and keep on flowing with your life? Which one of these focus points will bring you more success in your life? That thought and mindset will make you invincible, because no matter what life throws at you, you will choose an empowered state. You will focus beyond the rock. And this will also take away a lot of fear that you have in the present moment and also that you have of the future, because you would have made the decision now already that no matter what happens, you are going to be empowered, you're going to make your way past it, you're going to take full responsibility, and no one's going to take that away from you. And what also ties into this is complete mental self-reliance. Okay, there's nothing more disempowering than to sit back and hope that someone will save you, or to hope that someone will make your dreams happen for you. To give you a simple example of this, I have the most wonderful husband who will always do everything to give me what I want and also to save me whenever I need saving. And there was a time that I got so used to that I had less and less confidence in myself to actually solve my own problems and make things happen for myself. So it started becoming an expectation for me that he is going to help me. And there was a point where I realized it, and I realized how extremely damaging that is for me and how unfair it is toward him. So I had to make the conscious decision to try and do everything myself first. Okay, so to solve my own problems or make things happen for myself before I ask him for help. Now, besides the fact that this gives you a lot of confidence if you live your life that way and a great feeling of safety, it also has the added benefit that when you don't have too many expectations on a person of what they have to be in your life and do for you, that gives you so much space to just enjoy and love them. And it also sets them up for success, because if you don't expect a lot, then there's very little they can do to disappoint you. Now, I'm not saying never ask for help and that you're alone in this world and that you have to fight the fight on your own. All I'm saying is bring your expectations toward yourself and put your money on you. This takes you out of the victim mindset, and it just shows you what a badass person you really are and how much you can really do. So again, it is a great way to build your confidence. And also another benefit is that you will make things happen or get things done a lot faster, because if you have to wait for someone to make it happen for you, you have no guarantees that they're going to do it and when they're going to do it. So grab hold of your life and just do it yourself. Also, nothing in life is guaranteed, no person, no circumstance. So if you put all your hope and expectations on one person or one circumstance, then should that be removed from your life, you're going to feel very lost and hopeless. So if you have the confidence in yourself and the mindset that you are going to take responsibility, you do whatever you need to do to get your life on track, then you will be okay no matter what happens in your life. This brings us to thought number 2. Whose path am I on? This thought is very effective to help you keep your eyes on your path when you catch yourself comparing yourself to others around you. This thought first came to me the first time I started fitboxing a couple of years ago, and I almost threw up within the first 15 minutes because I was so severely unfit, and I had to run out and grab fresh air and just sit down for a moment. And every person walking by asked me very concerned, "Are you okay? Can we do something to help you?" Because I literally looked like death warmed up. Now, I was really embarrassed about this because I was surrounded by very beautiful and fit people who could actually last beyond 15 minutes and made it look easy. And all I wanted to do was get in my car and drive away and never return to that place again. And just as I was about to do that, my hero David Goggins' voice popped up into my head, and he said, "Mandy, whose path are you on? Screw what people think and keep going." If you know David Goggins, you know he would have said that in different language, but you get what I'm saying. Now, I did return and I kept on going back until I got better. It wasn't less embarrassing because I still looked like I was dying throughout the whole class, and the instructors were always very concerned about me. But I got there in the end. Okay, I made it through. And the biggest gift I got from that session or that time is the sentence, "Whose path are you on?" And I use it in my day-to-day life. Every time I feel insecure or I feel that I'm maybe behind where I should be according to others, when I compare myself to others, then all I think is, whose path are you on? And that kind of closes the world down around me, and I just focus on this path in front of me, and I focus on improving myself rather than looking around seeing what others are doing. It's like Robin Sharma says in The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, "There's nothing noble about being superior to some other person. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self." Now, this also protects you from the naysayers. remember that no one around you, no matter how close they are to you, truly understand your hope and your vision and what you see for yourself and your future in as much depth as you do. So they only pick up on these snippets and base their opinion on what they see and also on their map of the world. They don't see the bigger picture, so they won't necessarily understand the actions that you are taking. So don't let them point you in a different direction. Keep your eyes on your path, on your road, and just look up to admire the beautiful surroundings. The third thought, and this is probably my favorite one, is life is an experiment. I mean, aren't we just the masters at taking life so seriously and having this doomsday mindset? And I know we do because I used to be the queen of that. These thoughts like, this just has to work, otherwise I'm screwed. Or if this happens and I don't make it, then that's the end of me. It's not. You'll be fine. You'll have other options. I use this thought when I find myself putting too much expectation on the outcome of a situation, or also if I put too much pressure on myself on how well I have to perform. So as an example, when I started my first business, I had a very specific expectation of how well my first Facebook post will perform. I know hearing myself say it sounds super naive and silly. But I put huge effort into this post, creating a whole catalog of products, and as I sent it out, I was steadying myself for this massive influx of work that will come my way. And then so that didn't work out, so I thought, I need a website. So I created this badass website, and I just knew once I launched that, man, I'm gonna be so busy. Now, those were really hard lessons for me, and I know you might be sitting there thinking, seriously, Mandy, that's it? That discourages you? Well, yes, if you set your expectations very high and you don't know better yet because you don't have any data to fall back on, it's pretty painful if it doesn't work out. I work with people every day who try one thing, put so much expectation on that, and if that doesn't work out, it's such a blow that unfortunately they give up. Fortunately, I was in a position to stick with it, and I eventually found a networking organization that did wonders for me. My point is, we give up way too fast. We try one thing, it doesn't work, we feel like it isn't supposed to be. Okay, so if you live from the mindset, and that's the beauty of this mindset, it takes the seriousness out of the situation and out of our life. So if I live from the mindset of life is an experiment, then it opens space for trial and error. Then I'm going to go from the mindset of I'm going to give it my best try and I'll adjust as needed. And if I fall flat on my face, then I will just try something else. So it takes away the weight of that expectation that everything has to work out perfectly the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the 29th time. Where do you think we would be today if scientists and researchers and inventors would have stopped after the first attempt?
Oh, dang it. Well, I guess that's it, fellows. Let's start our 3-hour walk back home. Tomorrow we will work on how to prevent ourselves from falling off this flat earth.
So whenever you're not sure about something, or you find yourself taking life way too seriously, just tell yourself life is an experiment. I'll try. If it doesn't work, I'll take what I've learned and try something else. And I know all these examples that I've given today seem really small and maybe even trivial, but that is the reality of our day-to-day life. It's in these small things where we stumble and stop, and we don't realize the massive effect it has on our confidence and on our greater future. How we do little things is usually how we do the bigger things. So we have to start with the small things to build a solid foundation for the bigger things to stand on. So here again are your 3 anchor points that you can start using right now. It's always up to me. I am responsible. Whose path am I on? Life is an experiment. Now you can use these in the exact same way, or you can make them your own. Maybe just say the sentence in a different way so that it really clicks for you. Or maybe you want to use a mental image like a metaphor that you can bring to mind whenever you find yourself in those situations. It can even be a physical thing or a physical image, maybe a background on your phone, just to help you find your anchor again. Whatever works for you, make it yours. Before we get to the bloopers, I just want to leave you with a lovely quote by Theodore Roosevelt. It's my favorite quote, and I just feel like that sums up everything we've spoken about today beautifully. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. That's it for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It will help me a lot. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. And if you have any thoughts on this topic or other topics you would want me to talk about, please leave it in the comment section below. And most important of all, always remember to live an empowered life. I regularly can't talk. Especially if you've had really bad or unthings. Every time I got a new instructor, they very concernedly. I'm lost for words. I've lost my vocabulary anchor. The third thought. Mic drop. It's not my mic. If you live from the space of life as an experiment, then I don't know. I am responsible. Second, I forgot. I feel like I'm doing a lot of this with my face. What's that guy called? Ace Ventura.